Kalong shisha kasngi ke bansa jingkan mau haka history bar kapateng pakit ya ka Them Riboy district kumjuru ya ka jalahi barakawai. Haka ba menta kasngi ke arpnyo terik ujamang arja ka kendai. Layo wan pli pai bakno ya ka aroma mission. Lembat ya ka caka penmi ya ka umpenyang UB kisabon udhup lembat kiwe-kiwe kijingni lengba ka processing unit ka balaseng hapok ka snong laborwa Riboy district. Katkum ka jingi thu khana lengkon. Kane commission kala urlong da ka jinglen lade daki kato ka nengut ki kun samla jong kane kathan masdang ya kane kakam kata kanuksa ka babha kalong langba uba bes marwen ubade unong seng ya kane ka karkhana hakaba lai thuru ba uneu samla hakipor balalej ude uwe na kinong khai marpo khando kum uduyong bat kiwi hanre menta ula ino ya kate kakam bat ban sedang pat ban penjerngam ya kamaryang lemba ki jingthung ya ki kenbat ban penmi umphnyang bat kiwi de hakani kasngi belapli ya kani commission lawan ban pli perda da menteri rangba kajala ukonrat ke sangma kumukongsan hakajing don laru u Abdul Samad director jongka CSIR CIMAP hakajing don langru kinom ikmat jongki lightly ki konsonsi kata uba Jason S Maulong MLA ka umsning konsonsi uba Meral Bons Im MLA ka nopo konsonsi lembat uba George B Lengdo MLA ka umroy konsonsi Uchong kenor jongkane ka program lasim da uba ABS Swear ubade u director jongka MBDA. Hakabala ai jingkren lengkoru na UP sempat Kumar ubade UIS kumjuru u CEO ka MBDA kumju ka jing patai benya halor kani commission da UKN Kumar ubade u additional chief secretary but agriculture production commissioner. Kumju ka jingkren na usumbuk kongsan u Abdul Samad. Bat ka jingkren na kongsan u menteri rangba kacela u konrat ke sangma. Bala ai jingkren kubleru dai kong RM Kurba Deputy Commissioner Riboy District pakumju hakane ka program lapun pu penpingru lengba ki jingroi jongki kaitor bapaunam jongkane ka than
Though it looks as if we're all gathered here this morning and it's going to happen just like that, it's not really like that. The work started more than 4 years ago by a memorandum of understanding which was signed between the Meghalaya Basin Development Authority and the CMAP when Dr. Tiwari, the then director, he had come down and MOU was signed between the Meghalaya Basin Development Authority and the CMAP at that time, 2016. So today is the culmination of almost 4 years of work that has happened. And today we are prepared, we feel better prepared to launch a mission exclusively for the development of aromatic and medicinal plants in our state. Just as a starting point, I need to mention that Meghalaya has a lot of cultivable wasteland. In fact, we use only about 15% of our total available land for agriculture. The rest of the land is used for multiple purposes. If I may mention, we have about 2.5 lakh hectares of land which is available in our state, where without destroying the environment, we can come up with plantations of this kind. If I may mention this, between the pines, usually nothing grows because pine releases a substance which is very good for a symbiotic relationship between nematodes, soil nematodes. Because of this, what happens is, limited understanding that I have, the nematodes do not allow any other plant to grow between the pine trees. And we have very large plantations of pines, but without anything growing in between. But the only exception is the medicinal and aromatic plants, especially the lemongrass and the citronella grass, because they have certain compounds which go against the nematodes, so the nematodes do not damage it. If you can see the vision here, we can grow thousands of hectares of medicinal and aromatic plants even within the pine plantations. This is something which is a great opportunity. In addition to the fact that we have almost 2.5 lakh hectares where we can grow this kind of medicinal plants in times to come. Now, relative to other missions which are fairly big, like the milk mission or the piggery mission, or which are all more than 200 crores, of initiatives. This is a small initiative. This is just about 18 crores that we are investing in this. Now today our production is not really much because this is the first center of excellence that we had thought of. And here we are growing all these medicinal plants, especially two, that is lemongrass and citronella, in just about 30 acres. In these 30 acres, we are producing roughly about 120 liters of oil per hectare. So here the advantage of launching a mission like this is that we do not have to worry about this market. The buyers are here. In fact, the buyers are sitting here. In fact, they want to contribute to the growth of this industry in our state because of the wonderful climatic conditions that we have in our state. So we propose to, as a part of this mission, we propose to cover 5 hectares in every district. That means 11 districts at the rate of 5 hectares. We will be covering 55 hectares in just about 2 or 3 years' time. But eventual target as a part of the mission, as mentioned by the Commissioner, is to cover 1,000 hectares in, we do not know how much time it's likely to take. It all depends upon the response of the farmers and the economic value that they derive out of this.
Because I think we have heard enough of speeches from so many people regarding this very, very important mission that the state government has taken up. You know, we always talk about GDP. And if you look at any government in the country, whether state government or governments across the world, we all try to fight to ensure that GDP goes up. And that ultimately becomes the benchmark of economic growth of a nation or of a state. But then sometimes in the process, we don't realize that there is more to a nation and a country than just the GDP. And I think it is important for any government to realize that we need to think of overall development. We need to think of the kind of activities and the impact our economic activities have on development and on our resources, so that we can ensure that the economy and the state moves forward in a very, very realistic and sustainable manner. Having said that, I'm not saying GDP is not important. It is important because it is one number that allows us to assess the growth of a state. But it should not only be the driving factor. That is my only point. Having said that, agriculture is a very important part. I was discussing with some of our officials the other day. Officials and people who are in service, you still get 1 day or 2 days off in a week. But a farmer never gets a single day off. A farmer is the most hard-working person in our economy. And there's a reason why the farmers are in the primary sector, as we call it. So therefore, the government of Meghalaya is very, very focused on agriculture and the allied sectors, because we want to ensure that this primary sector, this sector that has so many people employed in it, one of the most hard-working people are part of this sector, and yet they don't get the kind of importance or the kind of returns that they should get. This is where the government comes in. We must create the missions, we must create the programs, we must create the policies to ensure that the farmers ultimately get that additional income or get that kind of importance that they deserve. I'm very, very indeed happy to see. I think it's a story that should be told to every single entrepreneur. especially in our state of Meghalaya. A coal miner coming out of the coal business and completely going into a sector that's almost, you can say, on the other side of the spectrum. Not saying that coal mining is bad or good, it's not about that. I'm just talking about the economic activity that the person did. Went into an activity where taking out the resources and selling it, to here creating resources and then selling it. I think it's a great story and should be told everywhere in the world. It's easy to take out resources and sell them. It requires a lot of initiative to create those resources. And I think the example that has been set out here is tremendous, and I must congratulate Michael Marbanyang and Mr. Nathael Marbanyang and Babes and others who have really taken this initiative, as I said, to create value and to create resources. I think that is really a story that we must sell and we must tell the people. And I think people of the state must learn from these young, dynamic entrepreneurs who took up the challenge, had a sector which was faced with certain consequences, yet did not stop because of their determination and went forward and started this business. And I think it's a great example, and once again would like to congratulate all the entrepreneurs who have been involved in this. Another reason why this is very important for us as a government is because we strongly feel that these are most probably the low-hanging fruits that we have. Recently, Government of Meghalaya has decided to make jharu, that we call broomstick, or broom, I'm sorry. Broomstick is only one stick, the brooms. So we have decided to make jharu an agroforest product. You see, earlier the farmer had to take permissions, even to cut the jharu and then to sell it outside. It's a product that's lying there in a wasteland, and yet the farmer is not able to sell it freely. It was a big hindrance to the farmer. Tezpatta being exported in large quantity outside to Bangladesh and other parts of the country, again was part of forest products. Bamboo, which again had to be classified, Government of India had classified it as a non-forest product. So, but still Government of Meghalaya had not done it. We call it long pepper. Long pepper also was a part of forest product. Now these are all activities in which our farmers are involved in a very large scale. And yet there were hindrances from the government side. Policies were not created properly to ensure that these farmers could get the benefit. And just simply by the government coming out with one notification, I'm presuming will change the lives of these farmers. They no longer have to go for permission to Government of Meghalaya anymore. They can cut the brooms and they can sell it and export it anywhere in the country. No more TP, no more forest department. Tezpatta, you can pluck it and you can sell it. So these are the small but very, very highly impactful policies that our government is coming out with. Low-hanging fruits. Very simple things that can change the lives of the farmers, increase their income, with no real, very large investment from Government of Meghalaya. So this is the areas that we are trying to focus on, and this Aroma mission is part of that process. We are in an area that is naturally very positive for these kind of plants. We are seeing that what Mr. K.M. Kumar just mentioned, that even in the pine forests, Some of these plants like the citronella, the lemongrass, these can grow in pine trees where other plants cannot grow. So why not create value out of what already exists? And therefore this mission, I presume, will be a game changer not just in terms of the farmers and their income, but in terms of protecting and preserving our forest covers also. This has multiple objectives. As I said, it is an objective of creating more income for the farmers. It's an objective for creating value, creating resources. It has an objective of ensuring that our forest covers are protected. And I think this is a very, very important part. It's very sad to see the way our forest covers are going down. World Environment Day is coming on June 5th. And on that day, Government of Meghalaya has decided that we will be planting 1 million trees. And these trees will be planted in different parts of the state, especially in the catchment areas. And we might not realize the impact of one tree being destroyed or the positive impact of one tree being planted today. But I can tell you an individual initiative by each and every one of you to ensure that you take that personal interest to plant a tree and, more importantly, take care of it for 1 year will be a game changer for the future generations. You know, one tree can provide enough oxygen for 2 to 3 people. One tree. We always take oxygen for granted, but do you know oxygen is the most important thing you need to stay alive? And yet we don't do anything about it. But if you, all the children especially who are present here, the students who are here, if you just adopt and take care of one tree, you are ensuring that you're taking care of your oxygen supply for yourself and for your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or somebody in the family. So therefore it's very important that we take ownership of the plants, of the trees that we plant, make it our own, we adopt it, because this is the tree that will give me the oxygen and my family member the oxygen. I think this movement must start. And therefore we are very concerned as a government about the forest covers, and I'm sure that the young generation will be involved in this. And this program that we are starting will also go a long way in ensuring that the forest covers are protected. We must ensure that there is a research that takes place in a scientific manner to know that which particular molecule or element in that plant is what is helping in that medicinal aspect. Meghalaya most probably is one of the most biodiverse regions in the world existing. I think this is maybe one of our biggest advantages and, the resource that we have. And because of not being able to commercially, in a very sustained manner, commercially bring out the value out of it, our common people, having no other option, sometimes end up destroying some of these resources. I've spoken to one professor from IIT who happens to be, I don't know the exact technical term, I'm not very good at all of this, but it's something called a micropharmacologist or something. So somebody who works on medicines and their elements and their molecules and finds out what are the different things to be added. And I think all of you know that in the whole world, India is the only second country, if I'm not wrong, that is FDA approved. That means the US companies can come and put their or manufacture their medicines in India. They cannot do it in China, they cannot do it because it's not approved by the US government. But India is. So therefore, India is a huge pharmaceutical future, I must say. And in that future, why can't Meghalaya be a part? Today we had a mission called the Lakadong mission. And in Lakadong mission, as you know, the curcumin value in the Lakadong turmeric is much higher, 6 to 7 to 8% compared to the other turmerics that are there in the world. And that is the element of the oil that is required for different medicinal purposes. And again, a mission that was started by Mr. K.N. Kumar himself. And not only have we started with a target of expanding this 5 times, that means from the current 12,000 metric tons, we want to expand it and make it to 50,000 metric tons. We've also tied up with pharmaceutical companies to come in and put up their research out here. So therefore, why my point here is, I would want that enterprise should take place here. I'm very thankful to Mr. Mishra. मिश्रा जी, आप बहुत दूर से आए हैं और आपको इस सेक्टर का बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस है, और मैं सब अपने लोगों की तरफ से मैं आपको धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूं कि आप इतने दूर से आए, आपने पूरा कष्ट लिया कि आप आके आज यहां से अपने जो हमारे फार्मर्स हैं उनको आप एक ऑप्शन दे रहे हैं। लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं कि आप ना सिर्फ तेल यहां से खरीदे, लेकिन यहां पे उस तेल का हम लोग कैसे वैल्यू एडिशन कर सकते हैं, वो सबसे बड़ी होगी चीज है। हम लोग होलसेलर में के काम पे हम लोग नहीं करना चाहते, हम चाहते हैं कि एक ब्रांड बने। कल को यहां पे लेमन ग्रास मेड इन पारुआ करके एक बॉटल में आए, उसमें लिखा है कि मेड इन मेघालय, और एक ब्रांड नेम बन जाए उसका। मैं चाहता हूं कि हम लोग उस दिशा में काम करें, और शायद वो आपके बिजनेस प्लान के साथ वो मैच होगा नहीं होगा मुझे मालूम नहीं, लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं कि आप उसके बारे में सोचें। आप अपना प्रोडक्शन यहां कीजिए, आप तेल को यहीं पे बॉटल कीजिए, यहीं पे ब्रांड कीजिए, लोकल लोगों के साथ आप बात कीजिए, और उस ब्रांड को फिर बाद में आप बाहर में एक्सपोर्ट कीजिए। ये इस दिशा में मुझे लगता है कि आपको सोचना चाहिए और हमारे लोगों को काम करना चाहिए। This is really what I would want. I would want entrepreneurship to happen so that our people, our brands from Meghalaya come out. You know, bottles in there, which I've seen in the packets, it's there. But I think that is a direction which we have to work on. But yes, it'll take some time, I understand, because till the farmers don't financially become stable, till the exports don't start taking place, till at least they don't sell their products, how do we expect to package it? So I understand that it's a process. But what I'm saying is, we must have a plan. We must know that in 2 years, 3 years time, we achieve this. In 4, 5 years, we should have this. And maybe in 10 years time, we should reach a next level. So I think all these aspects are very important. And I'm sure that the entire team will work on this. Entrepreneurship is very important to us. As a government, we have given top priority to entrepreneurship. Whenever there is any activity that our youngsters, or even our old people, young people, women, children, young boys, girls, whoever does it, we are of the firm belief as a government that it is only through entrepreneurship that the economy will boost. You cannot depend on government to push things. Government will create the ecosystem. Government will create the policies. Government will create the infrastructure. Government will give that initial push, but it is the entrepreneurs who will drive the economy. It's the entrepreneurs who will create the employment for our young boys and girls who are present here today and in the state as a whole. And having said that, I know I shouldn't be talking about this, but today the results of the metric exams has come out, and 50,000 students appeared in the metric exam. And as per my initial reports, the pass percentage is only 54%. This is a very sad trend, I must say. Of course, it's not just this year. For the past 6 years, the pass percentage in metric has been below 60%, 52, 53, 55, 56. This means 25,000 children have failed. You can imagine the kind of psychological impact that the children must be having. And I'm not here to blame anybody, but I think as a society, as a government, as teachers, as government officials, as parents, I think it's important that we realize that without education, there is no future for our state and for our people. And therefore, education is most important. All these programs that we're thinking of and planning will mean nothing if education is not there. And therefore, I urge all the stakeholders who are involved in the education sector, let us have a renewed motive and a renewed vision to ensure that these numbers go up. Education sector must improve. There must be growth. There must be overall quality in our education, and we must see our children come out, successful and responsible citizens of this country. So, my dear friends, once again, I thank all of you for coming to this program.